Okay, this is going to be my last attempt to do a night sky with the Aurora Borealis. And I'm going to start by building a background. And so this will be the ugly stage. So I'm taking a little bit of Pacific Navy from Primal Flow Paints. And I'm just going to start building my lines. It's going to be hard to see this blue. But we're just building the background for the resin. I want just a faint line at the top. I don't want anything really blunt. And I'm just using an old paintbrush that I actually took scissors and I cut it. I cut the ends off because it was looking pretty ratty. So it's nothing really fancy. Now I'm going to go in with some cobalt turquoise. And we're going to blend in just a little bit below where I began. Let's start right here. Okay, you see that now? Looking pretty good already. But like I said, this is the ugly stage. We aren't going to have any sparkles or anything. And I'm not too concerned about, what's the word? I'm not too concerned about how it really actually looks right at the moment. I'm just getting on the background. And I've got, these are all Primal Flows. I've got Sunshine, Magenta, Spring Green. I think I want to add some purple. I was going to go with dioxazine, but I've got some metallic purple here from Artist Loft. So we're just going to do a little bit of that. Just a little dab. I'm not washing my brush, I'm just wiping it dry. And these colors are transparent, so that's what you want. You want to have transparent colors. So you can still see the night sky behind the paint. You don't need a lot of paint for this part. It's just a little dab. It goes a long way. So get my brush in here. Now we're going to come in and do over the blue, but we're going to leave some of the blue. Okay. Now we're going to go in with pink. Magenta, sorry. You know, I love these Primo Flow paints, but I don't like these lids, the way they pour out, because they dry with that little hole there. I don't like that. You have to clean it out every time you want to use it. Okay, now we're going in with the magenta. Last color is yellow. Now I'm going to give this a good dry, let it dry really good, and then we will come back and we will apply some resin. See you in just a sec. Okay, I've got my resins mixed up. I've got 5 colors. I'll show you those in a second. I'm using an Artist Loft specialty brush. It's a flat brush, but it's got divisions in it so that you can create like hairs. So we're going to see if this works. I've got my alcohol and a cup for rinsing it out after I'm completely done. So my first colors are going to be, Bluebird Blue, all from the Color Cottage. I'm not using any of the neons this time. So I'm just going to dip a little bit in here. And we're going to go in. Let's see, I'm going to tip this up so I can see where my blue was. Dragging the color. You're going to feel some resistance when you're doing this. It's going to be interesting because since I don't know, I've never tried this technique. I'm doing it with you for the first time. It's going to be interesting to see what the next color is going to look like when I blend it up over the top. Hopefully it doesn't turn to mud. You see? I'm creating just a hint. And so far, I've got the right amount of pigment in here. we'll have to look at the other colors as I get to them. Oh, I like that. Alright, so now I'm going to try to get as much of this blue out of my brush as I can. I don't want to rinse it in alcohol because it will affect the next layer. And if you've ever brushed with alcohol, you'll know that it takes forever for the alcohol to actually dry in those bristles. So I think I got that pretty clean. So now we're going to go in with purple. And that is Heather Glen. Isn't that gorgeous color? These are all from the Color Cottage. Pretty. Okay, so just a little dab. A little more than just a little dab. Okay, so we've got pink right in here. We want purple to come right in through here. This seems to be working. I'm excited. Don't get too excited, Heather. You've been excited before. But this is what, my third attempt? So third time's the charm, yeah? Now I'm just dragging it. It's really pulling hard. So if it's pulling hard for you, that's good. You want that. Okay, so now the next color will be, let's do the green. No, let's do pink. I don't want to mix my pink into the green. I've got more pink right through here and right there. So my green will come up over the top. So we'll have to be really careful with that. I don't want that to get into mud. Pink is pink geranium. I'll show you the jar. Whoop. Pink geranium. Pretty color. I'm going a little heavier on the pink now because it's so transparent. But I don't want to add any more pigment because then it will become opaque. So I'm just going to work it up into the purple. And so far it's doing pretty good. It's not blending per se. You're still getting that definitive line. Look at that. I think I've got it. I'm weird, I know. I get excited over stuff that I'm learning. I'm teaching myself. See how it's got the shadow at the base of every color? I think I like that because it creates more dimension. Oh, you know what? I need to come back and do that pink right there. Let's get that smoothed out. Right now we're ready for the green. The green is called green apple. Pretty color. They're all pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay. I like how the acrylic base colors create a depth for me. And it's also a kind of like a guideline. Am I recording? Yes. Ooh, that was scary. For a second, I couldn't remember if I had hit the button or not. I think I'm done with the green. Now it's on to the yellow. No, let me go back and do the pink. Looking good, guys. I'm impressing myself. Okay, now on to the yellow. This is called dandelion yellow. Isn't that pretty? Dandelion yellow. And there it is. Very bright. These are all very shimmery. kind of miss that neon look, but I think I'm achieving the effect that I want. See, I started up here because when I come down here, I'm going to create another layer. At least that's my goal. And my thought is, being that I'm brushing this on in such a thin layer, that this is going to stay exactly where it is. And when I'm done, I'm just going to lightly, extremely lightly, torch it. I didn't put any yellow here, but I'm going to add some in anyway. Just because it's too pink, right? I'm just thinking. I want to add something right there. I don't know if I can do it because I've already got the yellow in. I like that much better. Okay. Let's try a little bit of blue. And if I don't like that, I'll go in with purple. Yay! Okay, let me get some alcohol in my cup. just need a little bit. Give that a good swishing around. And I'm just going to let it sit in here for a second. Let's see, prop that so that the brush doesn't tip out. And now we're going to go do a really light torch. I don't think there are any air bubbles, but just in case. And we're done. Wow, what do you think, guys? Did I do it? I think I executed it. Looks like an abstract tree forest. Tree forest? What other kind of forest is there? All right, we'll be back in a sec to paint our outline and then let that dry, and then we'll put a top coat on it. Hi guys, I'm back. All right, now I'm going to paint my silhouette, and the last time I did it I used my Cameo to cut a template, and this time I'm just going to paint it. So I'm just going to load my brush with some black paint, and we're going to start covering just the bottom here. And we're going to do some blending because I've got some Prussian blue and Payne's gray, because Payne's gray is already mixed to that blue-gray tone. Let's see, let's draw our just like that. I'm not going to add any water to my brush. I'm going to pick up half and half of the Payne's gray, and I'm going to work that into my brush. I think I need to get some white. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of my Amsterdam here. It's just close by. I'm just touching that up. Okay, now I'm going to put this in my water. I'm going to change brushes. Oh, let's go in with a fan brush here. See what it does. It might be too heavy. Yeah, too heavy. All right. I'm not liking this either. Let me get a couple different brushes. Okay, I've got Pempion Deerfoot and it's a 1/4 inch. This is the smallest deerfoot I've got. So I'm going to come in with some black, and I'm just going to grab some blue just to give my black some more dimension. And I'm just going to create some shrubbery. Shrubbery! Sorry. That was a very obscure comment. You have to know Monty Python or enjoy Monty Python to appreciate that. And you know what? That's a little too bright right there. Yep, that's too bright. We're going to go in with some Payne's Gray. We're going to tone that down. This is still too wet, so it's kind of hard to apply paint over a wet surface because it will just pull the paint right up. So I'm just going to lightly brush that on. All right, now I've got a Transin number 1. It's a fine point. So I'm just going to roll this in my black paint, and I'm going to try to create some peaks. Not liking this brush either. It's too fat. This is the most time consuming. Now I have a 4/0. If this was a larger piece, I wouldn't use a small brush like this. I would go with my fan brush, and I could make it look better. But when you're working on a size is just, you know, so important. If you're working on smaller pieces, work with smaller tools. Unless you want that, unless you want a fat top like an oak tree or a redbud tree. Are my trees going the same right? just barely touching the surface. I'm trying really hard not to tack it. I could spend probably another hour playing with that, but I'm going to call that done. I do notice that I've got a really blunt line right here, so I'm going to try to come back in and blend some gray and black. What do you think? Okay, that looks good to me. We're going to let this dry and then we'll come back and we'll put a top coat on it. We'll see. Well, I'll do it off camera. We'll put 4 ounces of clear coat on it and we'll come back after it's all cured. I like this. Oh, one thing I was going to tell you. When I brushed this on previously, I had issues with it wanting to separate. So I came back in with a small brush. Well, a small brush like this. Just I've used a round one. And I very, very gently stroked from the bottom all the way to the top. I just like that. To blend it. And I had to do that twice. I went in, came back a half hour later and it was getting bubbly. So I came back and I just very carefully with a dry brush stroked it straight back up again. Then I came back another half hour later and it was almost to the point where it was set, but I could still create the lines with the brush. And then I just rinsed this off with in a cup of alcohol. I use 91% alcohol. Normally I just buy it off of Amazon because I can buy 6 at a time, but I was at Walmart and saw this. It's a Quake brand, so it was like $1.90, less than $2 for that big bottle, 32 ounces. So I got a quart for $2. I thought that was reasonable. After this is dry, I'll put the resin on it and I will see you when that's finished. Here it is, all finished. Look at that. Ah! I love it. Look at the sparkle. And you can still see the stars up in the sky. Oh. I wish I had a horn. I'd doot it. Look at. I love it. It's not The Aurora Borealis is not blended the way I had imagined, but you know what? I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Let me see if I can get all the way out here. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I think it's cool. But then again, I always do when I think that I've succeeded. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope that you will join me next time for another video. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps my channel a great deal. So, thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.